مصطفى كل شيء لا يا نوراني الله نوري لا يا حاتم الأنبياء يا شهيدا المرسل يا حاتم الأنبياء يا شهيدا الله يا حي يا
وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. It is the beautiful background of Hajja Marudiyah, one of the legends of the city, one of the great daughters, pioneers of this beautiful tribe, this the soul people, the soul family of this age, of this continent. Um, things which are authentic, uh, we tend to exchange for things which is synthetic. And whilst we had gone through that process of foreign exchange, many of us had amputated our roots, and now it is time that we have to pay the debt. Okay, in a civilization, Okay, we are speaking things which is esoteric. People, most of us don't understand it because of the levels of our perception, and that Allah did not grant us to further expand our conscious levels. Okay, when we come into the dimension of earth, we lose most of our senses. Okay, that is basically due to you having to allocate and to measure the amount of unconsciousness that you are living in. Okay, so whilst most of us are living in the unconscious realm of religion, okay, and those of us who are caught up in the fictional economic pyramid schemes that economies of the world has given us the understanding it is real, but it is just a credit-based system that is repetitive, and it just increases the Zionist outcast. Zionism is pretentious, something which is shown to you which is not real, but you are infatuated to believe that it is happening on the external. Okay, this journey of Earth was for you to get your time conscious lines sorted out. Okay, so that you can know, are you in sub A, sub B, Senate 1? Where the hell are you in the chart of the Jacob's ladder? And then at the time that there is a change of gods, okay, gods means here is the person that you thought is God is going to disappear as a definition, like what you did in COVID. When the God concept in your lives had been disrupted because of the COVID invasion, that was a scripted. It's scripted in the Quran that you would be tilted. Okay, yang qalibu ala aqibay. Okay, but of course, because you don't understand the Quran, guys, you are busy with a false God, most of us. Okay. That's why you don't know who you are. You're still busy believing that the money that you are earning is real, but it's actually just fictional because of the repetitiveness of the policies that they have incurred in that empire. Okay, it needs intelligence, this thing, and it needs honesty. Okay, now most of those who claim they're scholars, they have lost the plot because they wanted to find entitlement and they wanted to be compensated. This earthly thing is not about compensation, because if you had said that God is the one that owns everything, why did you give subtitles and sub ownership to yourselves and others? Why did you show that lie openly to your children to tell them that they can earn something which was originally credit and a Ponzi scheme? Okay, your children knows the truth, man. They're gonna outlive you guys, okay, and they have to give accounts to their Lord and to their Rob and to their children, and they have to tell their children the truth, what their last generation was under the influence of alcohol. Alcohol is intoxication. In other words, they were living a fictitious life, a pretentious life, a Zionism life. They believe Zionism is not outside of your people. You don't know. Zuyina, Zuyina comes from the word zina. Okay, once you eat from that apple, that tree that you think is khuld, it is eternal, it is forever, but it was actually just a poisonous trap. Okay, in your conscious, people, just in your conscious. Those of you who are 80 and 90, you should supposed to understand what I'm speaking about, because you should have by now already exited the filament. Okay, you should have already be now in that area where you can see in the real horizons what is transpiring in this realm. Okay, you and I are in the Idda period. Yani, okay, Idda as per the universal laws, not as per the Jahannam's laws. We in the Jahannam, in the unconscious realm, we took the Quran and we changed her perception. And يحرفون الكلمة عن مواضعه. There are certain power sources, power lords, okay, that gives you the impression that they are in charge of this planet, whichever planet you are residing, because there are so many planets, okay, subject to the level of your density and how awoken, how conscious you have reached over the last 50 years of your life, because you climbed the ladder, okay. So when there's a change of the gods, okay, as what you are going through now, for the last since COVID, on the 21st of September, okay, that was the last eclipse of the season, and therefore the mafsala will now happen to you in conscious. We are speaking to the conscious, to the people that are alive, not the people that are living in their graveyards. Okay, that's another species. They've lost their, they've become humans. They are not nur. They are not conscious human beings. Not conscious. What your adversary had done to you is to dismantle yourself from your higher selves. Okay, so that you could not get into memory and remember who are you, what are you doing, where do you reside, where are you when you are asleep, where are you when you are dead, where are you when you're alive. And none of these questions you can answer your children, so you just tell them glo my kind, glo my kind. But jou kinders het al uitgevind dat julle het geraak mushriks, because julle het ander God te gaan vat. Julle het gemaak geld meer important as Allah, because julle het gerealiseer julle kinders weet dat hulle kom in. The children comes in now with the lenses of looking how deep their parents has lost consciousness. Hulle weet ons, die kinders weet hulle pa slaap in riba. Hulle weet hulle pa's eet riba. Hulle weet alles wat aangaan. Guys, you can't lie to your children, because they didn't come here to impress you. They came here on a mission. So they're not here to build your houses. They don't even want you to build a house for them, because they're not going to live in that house that you and I built, for thinking that we're going to keep them in that idolatry lifestyles. They come in. That's why God changed it into a digital world. They are living above your heads now. You live it niks wat aangaan waar hulle is. Okay? It's purposely. It's purpose, because the level of unconscious of the last civilization, the last generation, they lost conscious. We lost conscious of where we were. We didn't know who we were, because we were educated by our adversary, and we were impressed, and we wanted to prove our success on the levels of confidence and competence. Okay, we wanted to compete with our enemies, our adversaries. Okay, so now most of our children are now in the houses of our adversary. Hulle ken nie meer waar hulle vandaan afkom nie. Hulle weet nie wie hulle is. As jy gaan dat sit, Al kan julle moene opmaak. Okay, so you must be now fatally honest because you are in the Iddah from the 21st of September till the 21st of December. This is the Iddah period, okay? We went and put it on a woman so that she doesn't get married. But to be honest with you, the Quran has different levels subject to your level of density and how deep you are contracted with the devil. Okay, that is where you are punishing yourself, right? The higher you are discharged and liberated from that evil spells that you found yourself into, okay, you will now be able to understand the cosmic conscious migration patterns, okay, where the conscious world and the unconscious world is now basically having to separate the dark and the light. In this period, the upgrades are now on the plasma that is being discharged from the sun. Okay. You were not taught these things because you had to live and believe in something which was fictional, and now you cannot understand the actual reason why the Quran came. Not to tell you stories, to actually tell you that are you ready for the transition? Are you ready for the transformation? Okay? As conscious people, not as physical beings thinking that they must still die. And if you come to the age of 40, 45, you escape the physicality of the illusion. Okay, you don't be binded to contracts. You don't get yourself infatuated in thinking that it is you and your ego. Your tribes, our tribes, where we come from before we come into earth, they have that in their DNA. That's why we don't fear death, man. We don't fear it. We know who we are. Now, and on the other side, you have the greatest pain of running away from something which you yourself had to wake up from to realize that you are already dead. Now, when you see your father and your mother and your last generations acting as if they are conscious, but the children already has sent the data through their hearts, through their conscious to say, die mense sat. Hulle het dit gemaak, send in reinforcement, okay? يعني أخرجوا آل لوط إنهم قوم يتطهرون, okay? Then a new contingency of feminine natural energy is discharged into the planet, right? This is just happening amongst the soul tribes people, the mense wat lewende is, nie mense wat dood is nie. Rere, glo julle vir my. Qiyamah doesn't happen when you're dead. Qiyamah happens when you are able to stand, when you are able to face up to the shirk and the unconscious worlds that you have been engaged in, believing that it was real. Okay. Now, as you are now going through this transition and this migrations, where your true soul tribes will be identified to you in the path, it only happens to, I'm going to give it about 20%. Allah gives it mi'atayn sabiruna, okay? Alfayn, so we use 20% here. It's just the level of how many of us can summit the Jabal Qaf, okay, in conscious, because how many of us can recall what and where and why, right? In conscious now, right? You gotta break your theological and your educational entitlements and what you know of a reality, because that's a fictional reality for a new generation, because they're coming in with new data sensors, okay? They come to kill your civilization. They come to ostracize you, okay? That's the system, people. There is no biological order in Allah's world. There's only a conscious order in Allah's world, okay? Mind, pa, and system, bro, is net hier in die dunya. In die akhirah is a different equation. You didn't teach that to your children. You went and took possession of something which was never yours, okay? and then further you trap that child into wanting to be who that child was never. You just had to let that child follow his nature. Yani he has more data, he has more purity, he has more intelligence than the last civilization. Okay? The God doesn't send children just like that into earth. They have their scrolls, they have their chapter, they are in alignment. It's their parents that yani wala taqtulu awladakum khasyatal imlaq. It's the parents that misjudge and mislead them because of their parents' level of unconsciousness, and then they send their children down into that unconscious lanes, okay, and lifestyles. Now, the child was innocent, and the parent committed the crime. So, who's going to have to take the aggression? Who's going to have to be accountable? The parents. So, who accounts for the parents? The heavens has to deal with them. The children cannot. The heavens will send the children to dismantle and to break away from that past civilization. Okay, this is where the soul comes in. This is when they speak about the change of the gods, and hence you are in the Idda period. Okay, Idda period is a quiet period inside. If those of us that was allowed outside, look, many of us was we were disqualified. We didn't get. You can't get out if you can't get in. Now, the status quo is that many of us are not able to transcend that level of perception and pureness. Okay, heartfeltness. Okay. What is nice to know is that what we and I and our next generations that we are currently consolidating our plans to take the next generation into the digital age and to safeguard a spiritual path because their parents showed them the wrong gods, people. Hulle gaan nie God kry buite kan nie, man. Julle ma's en julle pa's kan nog altyd nie vind vir Allah nie. Okay? So we will have to now give them the actual truth about what was the condition of the lost content. We have to tell them this, okay? Not directly. It gets inculcated into the educational programs and into their new lifestyles so that when they come across the narration of the people of the cave, they will know who they are referring to. That was the people that couldn't wake up. Okay, that's where the people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent a dog. Okay, see the dog is the tongue. Okay, Quran is all esoteric. It is only for the intelligent people. It's nie vir mense wat dom is. Wallahi, billahi Quran. En almal is slim. Is net ons was dom gemaak. Daarvoor act ons dom. Okay? Allah had given everybody equal intelligence. Niemand is meer slimmer as die ander. Almal is equally slim because almal het gekom to fulfill their purpose and to read the scrolls and to understand the chapter. But since we lost direction, since we lost our roots, since we forfeited our organic seed, since we migrated from our nature, our natural order, our naturalness, which was in itself a natural science, okay? That's the ayats of Allah. That is the ayats, not in the kitab. The ayats are all inside of us. The entire Quran is inside of us, okay? Innahu kana zaluman jahula. The entire universe is operational through us as insan, as human, okay, not human, as the complete conscious of the time, okay. When we go dark, everything goes dark on the outside in our lives because we go down. Ons gaan verder en verder in donkerte, in unconscious levels, okay. Once you lose that all the time, then at the end of the day, you're not just dead, you are ghost. You become ghost here in the city. Okay? You are now going to understand in the time of Iddah, when you are in your reformation structures and transformation structures, Who are the ghosts in your lives? Who were the ghosts? Who are people that are living only in a body but has no connection with the spiritual reality? Okay, that's why they have to use old idol gods, old areas of a civilization where they think the god had passed by or had sent a man, and that you were unfortunately dead or unconscious to have been present at that. Okay, your children's story is the opposite of your story, and it's going to make your story the greatest lie of a civilization. Okay, because you believed in something you didn't see. Okay, and that was the fiction, that was the crux of the crucifixion that you had gone through. Okay, nothing on earth is here to stay factual. It is going to become a lie. Now when you hold on to something as the inevitable, that's when the universe and the master of the ages, and it turns and splits the time arms. Okay, the iddah, the iddah is the phase that you are consciously living in but unconsciously unaware of which way you should go, whilst you left the river and are now lost at sea. Okay, you cannot see. You don't know that the sea outside is not the sea inside. You gotta see into the heart. Okay, when the heart has light, you can see inside of it. But when you are blind, summun, bukmun, umyun, fahum la ya'qilun, when Allah doesn't want to put the light on inside, it means that the amount of shirk that you are contaminated in disqualifies you. Okay, this I'm telling to you in real time. In real time. The Yahud is now in Quds. The Muslims are running to the Haram in September. It's a very good time in life. Spirituality is high. It's Rabiul Thani. It is the transition of the gods. It is the exchange of the batons. It is the taboot that is being reappointed to a new custodian of the earth. Okay, a new mother, a new daughters of the earth. Okay, the original DNA, the pure the pure ingredients of building a pure civilization, not as what you have given your children to show them how effective it is to live in riba and how they have to emulate the Nasara and the Yahoo and the Mushrikeen. Most of us shared the shirk life of a civilization with our children. But your children already knew who you were. Don't you know? They come in knowing. If they didn't know, then Allah wouldn't say, وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةُ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى. Just you have lost, you have been captured on one of the lowest frequencies of a reality that exists in Jahannam. Okay? Now, the Iddat period are those who are going through the transition. They are the people that has to go through it. Is here money? Is here frowning? It is the time of the new incoming theologies, the new incoming visionaries, the new incoming architects, the new incoming engineers, what they want to do, what the last civilization, when it was destroyed in COVID, they want to tell that story why Allah destroyed them. Okay, you're not going to outlive them because it is out of your hands, and it is nakirun, like when the angels comes into the Ibrahim's timeline, فَأَوْجَسَ فِي نَفْسِهِ خِيفَةً. So fear overwhelmed them, and they couldn't actually reach to change the story because it was foreign to them, to what was coming, what was incoming in their lives. Now your children are narrating a scripture of that past generation that they saw their fathers burying their mothers in plastic bags, rolling them over and getting Sharia compliance with it. Okay, closing their mosque, they can never believe in that same God, guys. They know what the status of their parents are. They know what is shirk. Your children knows it better than you. Okay? And the heavens gives them the shield, because that is how they can migrate. This thing is not in your hands or in my hands. You just have to follow the narrative in the Quran. Quran is the only conscious timeline in your reality today, since you are ignorant of it and you have denied yourselves. Allah gave everybody that equal opportunity and equal senses of intelligence. Everybody has it. Don't say that your mother didn't teach you. You don't need to understand it. You have to hear the sound. It is only in the sound. If you retrieve your mother's sound, your mother box, okay, everything in the Quran speaks to you directly, not because of a language. You were just unconsciously in a treason to believe that that which somebody else knows is what your God is saying. But your God is not in somebody else's land. It is inside of you, and your mother will activate that for you, since you come into earth on your mother's tongue, on your motherboard. That is the sound that when you listen, that will module you into a level of reciprocating the data that you are matured to process. Okay, that's the real deal here. You went and found an acknowledgement in Harvard and in Oxford and in every other place, but you failed to come home. Nou as julle doodgaan, want toe gaan julle? Ons as julle kinders vra vir julle nou. Want toe gaan julle as julle doodgaan as julle eie maas vir julle gedeny het om huis toe te kom? Die Here het gechange, het die weather gechange. Nou, want toe gaan julle wil ons weet? Kan julle hulle vir ons stuur 'n e-mail urgently om vir ons te sê waar in die see lê julle, of is julle begrawe onder die grond? Okay. That is what the Quran tells your children here, guys. Okay. It's got no emotions involved. It only holds the truth. That's why we cannot exercise this wama alayka illa al-balagh. We just oralize it, vocalize it. It will grow now and go into wildfire. Okay, that it breaks down and it rebuilds now a new contour of a reality for the new generations. Okay, because they love Allah, people. They love Allah unconditionally because they are not as contaminated as what their parents became. Okay. The last generation, we are all parents. We are all parents, and we are all including ourselves in it. Okay, but we at least we make qiyam. We make when you are dead and you stand up and you become conscious, then you have been qualified for the qiyam. Now you can go through that metamorphosis. Okay, so like your children knows it. Your children knows that most of you have turned into mushrikeen. And it's difficult, like you jathimin, athimin in that masakin. It's not that they are judging you and they are not cursing you, because it's nature. It's nature when a lion attacks a cat and when a dog bites it's nature. You can't stop those things. It's nature. Okay? The nature that you have come through here is that your children will see how decomposed in nature you have become. That's basically what it is. They can't judge you. Nobody can judge you. Only Allah can judge you. And there's always an opportunity to come back and retrieve your mother nature. Okay, it's not impossible, but as timelines are crossing and collapsing, and the Iddat period is now in her full process, and we will reload a new set of values, a new definition of Allah, a new understanding of where is Allah's house, the Baytul Nur, okay, the Burj, the Abraj Nur, okay, the towers of the light, All those things are going to come back to your children. It is already in their hearts. It's already in their being because they are souls, okay? So it's just now to lighten up that process so that they can know they are in a safe zone wherever they are floating out there in that cosmic jabal of Al-Qaf. Okay, that is where you have Qaf wal Quran al Majid. Unfortunately, what you need to understand is that religion was once upon a time something which benefited us. But at the end of the day, Allah says, وَيَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْخَمْرِ وَالْمَيْسِرِ قُلْ فِيهِمَا إِثْمٌ كَبِيرٌ وَمَنَافِعُ لِلنَّاسِ وَإِثْمُهُمَا أَكْبَرُ مِنْ نَفْعِهِمَا. The way religion was compromised, okay, when governments and other nations had contaminated the spiritual wealth and the spiritual wisdom of it, it became a commodity that you had to turn into an economic credit-based formula, and it that then brought you to where you are now as a deceased civilization where you are paying for your salvation. Okay, may Allah give you barakat. It's bukatak. Enjoy the evening, guys, and may Allah Ta'ala grant your parents the highest places in the Jannah. Wa alaikum assalam ورحمة الله وبركاته.
يا مصطفى كل شيء لله يا نورا من نور الله يا مصطفى